Washington, D.C. is being invaded. Quick, call out the National Guard. What's up, blind viewers? That's right. Washington, D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser has requested that the D.C. National Guard be activated indefinitely to respond to migrant buses arriving.
I've asked for the deployment of the Guard as long as we need the Guard to deal with a humanitarian crisis that we expect to escalate. The number of people crossing the border seeking asylum, we expect to only go up. And we need to make sure that there is a national response.
Wow. So, it apparently means that once it hits D.C., it's a problem. Now, apparently, D.C. is overwhelmed. I mean, overwhelmed with nearly 4,000 migrants. Bowser and the D.C. Homeland Security and Emergency Management initially sent letters to President Joe Biden and the Office of the Secretary of Defense in a letter on July 19th, but have not yet received a response. Where you at there, Sleepy Joe? So D.C. can't handle 4,000, yet Texas is supposed to deal with millions. And by the way, that's where the illegal immigrants are coming from. Since mid-April, more than 125 buses have transported just under 5,000 migrants from Texas border communities such as the Rio Grande Valley, Del Rio, Uvalde, and Eagle Pass. Arizona started a similar initiative in mid-May and has had about 27 buses carrying more than 1,000 passengers from the border to D.C. What I'm wondering is, if there's no border crisis in Texas and Arizona, how all of a sudden can a non-bordering state have a crisis? I mean, if it's not a crisis there, how can it be a crisis in D.C.? I guess it's okay to turn a blind eye when it's not in your backyard. Now, of course, D.C. officials such as Bowser have claimed immigrants are being tricked into traveling farther away from their intended destinations. Yeah, because everybody is crossing the border and they want to stay in Texas. They don't want to go any further. They just made that long trek to get across and they want to stay in Texas. But no, they're being tricked into going to a destination that they don't want to go to. Now, I wonder if the immigrants that are put on the flights to everywhere, USA, far from their intended destination, were tricked as well. You know, the ones that the Biden administration were caught doing at their little 3 a.m. Flights to New York and other places.
Legal immigrants from South and Central America continue to surge across the U.S.-Mexico border. And these photos show a chartered 737 coming from Texas, landing late Saturday night in Jacksonville. Airport police there to help escort the migrants off the plane and onto a bus. Local photographer David Rosenblum shot these images, some of his pictures in an article in the New York Post, which details the U.S. government moving migrants from the southern border to shelters across the U.S.
That's right. Now, before you stand up and wave your fist and proclaim, they didn't do that. Well, the press secretary, yeah, she admits that they did just that. But when they do it, it's different.
Congressman Zeldin, the federal government has been reportedly sending secret overnight flights to New York for months. Planes filled with illegals. FBN's Edward Lawrence confronted the White House about it today. Watch this.
What's the difference between Texas busing migrants to D.C. and the federal government flying migrants to, say, New York in the middle of the night in other cities?
It's very different because we're not doing it as using migrants as a political pawn.
Yeah, we're doing it, but it's different because we're doing it. So, yeah, we get to do it. You guys don't get to do it. Hilarious. I just love it. Well, I, for one, say good for you, Texas and Arizona. They cry the blues about something they say isn't a problem until it's on their doorstep. What they once said was no big deal is now a very, very big deal when the D.C. dickheads have to deal with it. Now, when Trump was in office, I thought that D.C. was proudly a sovereign city.
I can't say it any more clearly of what it means for Washington, D.C. to be a sanctuary city and to ensure that people who live here feel free to call on their government for help.
So, yeah, I wonder what changed. Well, hey, fucking act like you are and just deal with it. We consider this a humanitarian crisis, one that could overwhelm our social support network without immediate and sustained federal intervention, Bowser wrote. Now, the good people of Texas have been begging for help and are laughed at and ridiculed. Where's the New York Queen of Humanity? You know, the one that everybody is jealous of and wants to date. Where is AOC? She was quick to show up at the cages that Obama built and gripping the chain link fence in anguish. Where, oh, where is our hero now? More importantly, where is the Biden administration? Where is Kamala Harris? You know, the one that was put to task with all this mess? Now, she can blend into the background quicker than a white liberal with white guilt at a Black Lives Matter rally. Oh, that's right. It wasn't a mess until it hit the D.C. dipshit doorstep. I don't know. You don't have to agree with me. That's never the point here. The point is, oh my goodness, these people are all nuts. And that's the way I see it.
What we do here is go back.